She never disappointed. But the thing that was the coolest about coaching this young woman is she is the same today as when she came in. She is full of confidence. She's full of grace, and she has an unbelievable power to make everybody around her better.
AJA Wilson seems jealous, and she's not hiding it. Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement is a huge deal. Packed stadium, expensive tickets, and everyone watching. Yesterday, nearly 15,000 Hawkeye fans saw Iowa defeat number 4 USC. But instead of celebrating, AJA Wilson is upset, throwing more shade than ever. Is she angry about Caitlin Clark's success?
Why would Caitlin Clark not consider Asia Wilson in her retirement? No. We don't think that it's fair that Caitlin Clark would have her retirement ceremony on the same day as Asia Wilson's retirement ceremony, even though they both wear the same number 22. Even though Caitlin Clark just graduated college, she has well over many accolades to have her jersey retired, but everyone's lives should revolve around Asia Wilson, and she should wait. I think all of you need to shut your pie holes. You shut your pie holes right now. Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. No one's world is going to revolve around Asia Wilson just because she's retiring too.
Caitlin Clark just did something unbelievable. She sold out Iowa Stadium for her jersey retirement like it was the biggest concert in town. Meanwhile, AJA Wilson's big moment barely got any attention. Ouch. But it gets even crazier. AJA's fans are furious, complaining like their favorite cereal just got discontinued.
Like this guy, he says, one brought a chip to their program and made it into a powerhouse and top destination for future recruits. The other is Caitlin Clark. But congratulations to the both of them on their historic college careers.
They're calling it bias, but here's the truth. Caitlin Clark is the biggest name in women's basketball right now, and no amount of angry tweets will change that. Her jersey retirement was like the Super Bowl of women's hoops, while AJA Wilson's felt more like a halftime show no one noticed. It's nothing personal, just the game.
22 to the top of the building. There will never be another basketball player like Caitlin Clark. There will never be another 22 worn by an Iowa Hawkeye basketball player. Caitlin's jersey immortalized in a ceremony that preceded another uncanny performance by her former team. But the reason that every seat in Carver Hawkeye Arena was filled today was to see this generational star return to the stage that made her a worldwide icon.
Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement was nothing short of legendary. Nearly 15,000 fans packed the arena, ready to witness history. It felt like the Oscars of sports, except with hardwood floors instead of red carpets, and the star was sinking half-court threes. Clark has done the impossible. She's made women's college basketball must-watch TV. Forget March Madness. She's the reason people even know what a crossover is.
It was a sellout crowd, not a shocker. I think it was like at almost 15,000, if not at 15,000 people. And the tickets were pretty...
As the crowd roared, it felt less like a retirement and more like a Hall of Fame welcome party. Caitlin Clark's achievements could fill an encyclopedia, but the real magic was in the atmosphere. Fans chanting, emotions running high, and the feeling that basketball was better because of her. Meanwhile, somewhere in the distance, AJA Wilson might have been wondering if she had shown up at the wrong event.
Everything needs to be brought through Asia Wilson before we proceed forward. This is ridiculous. They share the same number jersey. Oh my God, what a creative idea. February 2nd. Oh my goodness, we're geniuses here. Nobody is ever going to think of that.
Nobody can think of the second.
No.
This is her day.
Jeez,
no one should use the number 22, ever.
Let's break it down. Tickets for Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement were insanely expensive, some over $1,000. And no, this wasn't a Beyoncé concert, it was a women's basketball event. But did that stop fans? Not at all. People were ready to do whatever it took, empty piggy banks, take out loans, just to be there. It was the hottest ticket in town, but instead of a pop star, they were lining up for a basketball legend. And guess what? It was worth every penny.
A 6-foot guard from West Des Moines, Iowa, the reigning WNBA Rookie of the Year!
Caitlin Clark didn't just play for Iowa, she changed the game. She took women's college basketball from "oh, that's nice" to "wow, this is amazing." Her deep shooting range turned heads, and her skills kept fans on the edge of their seats every game. But it wasn't just about stats. Clark changed the culture. She wasn't just a player, she was a movement. So when fans spent big money, it wasn't just for a game, it was for a moment in history that may never happen again.
This is that it's on the same day as the A'ja Wilson jersey retirement, and the price is it is cost to get into South Carolina. It cost $64. $64 to get the A'ja Wilson jersey retirement. It is $1,000. $1,000 in the same night to get in Iowa.
Wilson's big moment didn't come close to selling out arenas or making headlines across major sports networks. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement became a historic event. The stadium was packed, tickets were expensive, and the atmosphere was electric. It wasn't just a ceremony, it was a celebration of a player who changed women's basketball. Of course, Wilson supporters quickly blamed Clark, saying she stole the spotlight from A'ja, like Clark had planned to retire her jersey on the same day just to overshadow Wilson. Some even accused the WNBA and NCAA of disrespecting Wilson by scheduling both events together. But let's be real, Caitlin Clark isn't to blame.
First it was announced that A'ja Wilson, she would have her jersey retired on February 2nd, be technical, technically speaking. Hers was first announced on February 2nd. And then last April, I believe, April of last year, 2024, and then it was then announced that Iowa, the Hawkeyes would then retire Caitlin Clark's jersey on the same day.
Caitlin Clark didn't just dominate on the court, she changed the entire game of women's basketball. Her impact is undeniable, from sold-out arenas to skyrocketing TV ratings. She's brought more attention to the sport than anyone in recent history. Fans, sponsors, and even other players see it. That's why when her jersey was retired, it wasn't just another ceremony, it was a historic moment everyone wanted to be part of. On the other hand, despite being a multiple-time MVP and WNBA champion, A'ja Wilson couldn't create even a fraction of that excitement. And that stings for her fans. They thought she was the face of women's basketball, the biggest name in the game. But the reality is, when you compare the two, Wilson's influence just doesn't stack up. The difference in ticket prices between their events says it all.
Talking about you need to have superstars, yes?
Caitlin Clark is a superstar. I credit her with raising the level. We're creating more eyeballs on our sport, and we need to thank her for that. And a lot of people think I'm being facetious when I say that. I'm not. I'm all for the greater good of our game.
Let's talk about the moment that showed just how much respect Caitlin Clark has earned. Even South Carolina's coach and players stuck around to watch her jersey retirement. Let that sink in, Caitlin Clark's presence alone made a real impact. Iowa, a team that had been struggling against top-tier opponents, managed to beat the USC team led by Juju Watkins while Clark watched from the stands as a commentator. That's right, just having Clark there inspired Iowa to pull off an upset against a top-4 team for the first time in years. That's the Caitlin Clark effect in action.
Today isn't lost on us from the non-basketball game piece of it. I'm really impressed with the atmosphere here, the love for women's basketball, the appreciation for what Caitlin's done, and Coach Bluter. We had decided prior to the outcome of the game that we were going to stay out there and be part of that to honor her and where women's basketball is. And we know that the things we're doing, we get to write our own story, but are part of a synergy around women's basketball that has, in many ways emanated from here. And so obviously congratulations to her. There's nothing I can say that hasn't been said, but the respect she's shown us and the humanity she's shown us, I'm definitely a fan. As far as the basketball game goes,
Caitlin Clark has completely taken over. She's not just a star, she's the future of the sport. And if you think she's done making headlines, think again. With the Indiana Fever looking stronger and Clark coming off a well-earned break, there's a real chance she could steal the MVP title from A'ja Wilson next season. That's right, Clark could take away the one thing Wilson's been holding onto for dear life. One thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's rewriting the history of the sport. No matter how much Wilson's fans try to downplay it, the numbers don't lie. Clark's impact is bigger, her fanbase is louder, and her influence is undeniable. Women's basketball has a new face, and her name is Caitlin Clark. Meanwhile, inside Iowa's arena, the atmosphere was electric. Fans cheered so loudly the wall shook, and Clark herself took a moment to acknowledge the crazy ticket prices, showing nothing but gratitude for her loyal fans who paid top dollar just to see her honored. That's the level of admiration she commands. AJA Wilson's event? Well, it didn't have that same energy. It was just another event on the calendar, nothing historic. Wilson's fans can complain all they want, but the numbers don't lie. For someone who's won MVP 3 times recently, you'd think her ceremony would be a massive deal. But here's the reality. Caitlin Clark's event had sky-high ticket prices, while Wilson's was pretty standard. If Wilson truly is the face of the WNBA, shouldn't people be fighting to get tickets?
Honest here. Tickets for this monumental occasion start at $64. However, in Iowa City, the retirement of Caitlin Clark's number 22 jersey at Carver Hawkeye Arena during Iowa's game against USC is shaping up to be a much bigger spectacle. And of course, this was a tweet that went out talking about $200 to $784 with a bunch of tickets listed over 1,000. Well, guys, that was today, and that was 5 hours ago. And I just showed you on StubHub, the cheapest seat is $522. The most expensive is $8,025.